Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We've made it through, well, pretty much everything else. Now it's time to finish things up with the last of this week's DC books, as well as House of Slaughter. Kicking things off, though, we've got Black Adam number 7. Where we left off, the same infection that appeared to be that Adam was dealing with earlier is now seeming to affect Malik. So he went home to see if perhaps Adam's ring is what caused it. Upon arriving there, however, he ran into Sargon. Who's trying to find the ring. However, while that's happening, the death of the Justice League happened, and Black Adam basically had a rough landing in the Hall of Justice. But while Sargon waits, Malik looks for the ring, can't find it, figures that his sister likely pawned it, as it's kind of her thing. When Sargon leaves, it turns out that Jasmine is there, as is his sister. But he shows her the infection on his hand, and he also tells. But Jasmine informs him of just the type of person that Black Adam is, and they try to come up with some workshop some names so that. Some superhero names for him that don't necessarily link him to Black Adam, and kind of to avoid painting him with the same brush. But he says Shazam powers up, and turns out that the magic listened because he said he didn't like the cape, so it gave him a jacket. But at a pawn shop, the Ram has shown up looking for the ring. Apparently, Malik's sister pawned it for $50. And buys the ring from the owner of the pawn shop. Malik has gone to speak with Shep, and they're trying to figure out where Black Adam is. So they ping his phone with GPS, and he goes to a warehouse where Adam was put through the simulation by Batman. He enters the simulation. He sits down in the chair, puts on the headset, and ends up talking to a young Theo Adam, who then turns into Mighty Adam. But he hears screaming and is able to get the headset off, and Mirror Master is actually trying to make it through the various mirrors around. This was apparently a death trap that Mirror Master had set up, and alarms got triggered. Took some doing for him to actually get through, but the oxygen's being cut off. Yeah, it's a death trap. But and he can't. And well, Mirror Master can't get in touch with the squad. But they have an idea, and so Malik goes back in the simulation and protects Kandak with alongside Adam, who's smiling. He honestly seems a lot like, well, Superman. But during the whole thing, Adam Malik's able to say Shazam, and apparently there was a some type of mental block preventing him from saying it outside of the simulation. And Mirror Master Malik managed to make it out of the building as it explodes, though Malik is currently unconscious. And that is where the issue ends. It's nice to see Sam Scudder back. I haven't been reading Flash much, so well, I think he was involved in the the battle for the three. But yeah, it's nice to see him back. Moving on to our next book, we got Blue Beetle Graduation Day number 3. Where we left off here, the other Beetle had was being held by Cord Industries, which happens to be which is headquartered in the same town that Jamie's living in. And the other Beetle, Dynasties, her scarab turned off, and so, but Ted's trying to figure out how or basically what's going on with the Reach broadcast and whatnot, and but it's going to take months. Though Batman shows up and tells them they don't have months. Meanwhile, Blue Beetle and Starfire are flying around. Starfire wants to help kind of train Jaime, and Ted Cord's sister is talking with Dynasties, getting a bit of her backstory. Then another scarab showed up, this time green. But the green one gets downed, and the scarab receives a Reach broadcast, but Starfire touches Jaime, and there's an entire bit of history concerning the war that the Tamaranians fought with the Reach. There was a group that opposed the war known as the Horizon. And it seems that the Horizon are coming to Earth. However, Jaime's got other troubles. His best friends have shown up, and they've been brought there by Fadeaway. And that is where the issue ends. This has definitely it's starting off well. I like it. Each issue's been pretty solid. I like expanding upon the expansion, basically, upon the Reach and whatnot. Moving on, though, to our next book, we have Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton. So this is kind of a collection of stories, in some ways intended to set the stage for set things up for characters moving forward in the dawn of DC era. But yeah, during the Lazarus volcano exploded, and there's Lazarus rain falling everywhere. So, in DC, Dream has a vision of However, she's seeing everything reflected in the helmet of fate, but nothing beyond the helmet. But she manages to get to the Hall of Justice Medical Bay through Bruce Wayne's dreams. Explains everything. So her and Robin explain things a bit to Supergirl. Supergirl tries to, and so Dreams. Batman suggests that Supergirl or the Dream try and get in contact with Khalid Nassour, who's current bearer of the helm Naboo. However, and she does in his dreams, where he's a surgeon. But a voice is talking to her. It's Naboo. And she basically goes where the voice guides her and seemingly comes out of the Lazarus pit holding the helm of Naboo. Next up, we have ourselves a Superman story. Let's see, it's actual name. Electric. In Metropolis' Garment District, young kid breaks into a store and steals a jacket. Though Superman finds him as John Kent, as the Lazarus storm hits, and the mixture of the rain and the electricity that Superman starts to give off seems to grant the thief lava powers. But Superman passes out, and so the thief takes Superman home, back to where he's staying to, basically maybe help him out. And so they go and try and do the heroic, basically to make sure that a superpowered thief isn't on the loose. Kid and Superman go and try and help people during all this, with John having to constantly give him pointers, things not to do. And once again, Superman, as the rain continues to fall, Superman is once again saved by Kid. Later, he goes to retrieve his cape, but, well, a bit on the news, states a holding cell erupted when a suspect with what appeared to be extraordinary volcanic powers escaped, last seen flying southwest out of the city. And there's a note left for Superman asking if he's ever had a really bad day. Then we've got also Metropolis, Mercy Graves and Lex Luthor. They're watching the storms. I think Mercy's somewhat concerned. Maybe they should go elsewhere in the building, but the power goes out. Lex puts the building in lockdown, and there's some basically the part of the building where accounting seems to be in danger, and some of the animals that are being experimented upon have gotten loose. Mercy is armed up and goes out to deal with them, but it appears that even though she is an android, robot, whatever, she has somewhat evolved. Able to create weapons as needed with her hands. Bladed weapons, energy weapons, whatever. But she gets back. She informs Lex that she's got it taken care of, and she will continue to, clear out the building. Finally, we've got a story focusing on Power Girl. In Lazarus Planet Alpha. She was dealing with the Silverhorn King, rocking him up into the sky when she died. At least she thinks that's what happened. You know, wondering why else would her life be flashing before her eyes? But she sees someone in need, goes to help them, seeing various ghosts and as well as her insecurities. She continues through. And she encounters a woman named Omen, who's apparently telepathic. Also, as Omen and Power Girl continue on, it turns out that Power Girl seems to be psychic now too. And that is where all the various stories end. Okay, so Power Girl's story will be continued in Lazarus Planet Omega as well as in Action Comics. I think it was 1051. Doubt I'll be picking up. We'll see about Action Comics, maybe. But yeah, Lazarus Planet is. I was hoping for maybe an actual story. It looks like there is some actual story, but most of the one shots are really just to kind of set stuff up for the dawn of DC era, which I guess that's one way to do it. Tie it into another story going on. So yeah. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Stargirl: The Lost Children, number 3. Where we left off, Stargirl and Red Arrow had arrived at Orphan Island. Red Arrow had been taken prisoner, but some of the missing sidekicks had managed to save Stargirl from a similar fate. Stargirl tries to escape the island with her cosmic rod, but almost gets zapped by lightning, with Airwave taking the hit for her instead. More of the eggs are back, but someone's next to in the cell that Red Arrow's in. There's someone in the cell next to Red Arrow's cell. Someone's there. But the childminder comes to check on Red Arrow, and she's, yeah. She's something. Legs of a chicken. Body from the knees up of a person. And feathers. But Stargirl meets the other lost kids. All of the missing sidekicks. We've got Little Miss Redhead and the Blue Boys. The Newsboy Legion. TikTok. John Henry Jr., Molly Pitcher and Betsy Ross, Ladybug, Salem, the Witch Girl, Quiz Kid, who makes a guess that Stargirl's from the future, though she says it's not exactly like that. Also there is Corky Baxter, Time Master, and he's going to get them. He says he's going to get them out of there. All they have to do is find Jay Garrick's daughter and unravel the manufactured the island, and they'll get if we can put them there, give them the business, as it were. Red Arrow makes an attempt to escape, but apparently Childminder's got some knockout dust, which she uses on Red Arrow, which not only knocks her out briefly, but also takes away some of her, also wipes her memory for a few minutes, or however long she needs to. And it turns out the next in the cell next to her is none other than Judy Garrick, the Flash's daughter. Calls herself the Boom. And that is where the issue ends. I like the fact that it's picking up very quickly on one of the some of the plot points from Flashpoint Beyond. It'll be interesting to see how the whole thing kind of sets in with the rest of everything. But moving on, though, to our last one of the week, we've got House of Slaughter number 11. Kicking off a new story arc, The Butcher's Return. Where we left off with the Butcher, Jace Boucher and Aaron Slaughter had... Jace Boucher was doing what he could to save victims of monster attacks closer to his home. And he paid a visit by Aaron Slaughter shortly before Aaron was called to Wisconsin to back up Erica. So we open with one of the kids being saved by Jace. Apparently he's telling the story to the other kids, but there's a rule to not, no scary stories. So, but every time that the young boy comes to see Jace, however, Jace instinctively grabs a small dagger, but he tries to make a point of always keeping it tucked away. Jace's familiars have have some portents to share. Including asking one of them how Aaron's doing. With that one saying, he's great. Though it's pointed out that Jace is getting close to Butcher territory. Which leads to a flashback of the Butcher House sending out some of their white masks in training. Seemingly to recruiting. With Jace coming upon a young girl named Jolie. Turned out to be a dream, though, that where when Aaron shows up, to explain, not even Slaughter makes the children do their recruiting, but he wakes up in his tent, and the kid's there with now holding his knife, and Jace instinctively attacks, before realizing it's the kid. Kid runs off into the woods, however, with the knife, but is attacked by a monster. But his name is Sunny. The monster is taken down, and while Jace is looking for Sunny, Jolie and the rest of the Butcher House find him. And that is where the issue ends. Now there were things mentioned that the order were starting to see the Butcher House as being a problem. So back in the initial arc with Jace and Aaron. So perhaps we'll get a better idea of what's meant by that. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.